Alrighty, good evening, everyone. And it's forever, and we're so glad to be back. Welcome to this interesting look at Sharks hockey. This is your fill-in pregame, per se. This is your Teal Town USA Sharks Plus pregame. Why Sharks Plus pregame? Because the game's on ESPN Plus. I mean, come on. So before you hop on to the ESPN Plus for the game, sit and hang with us. We'll get you going for the Sharks and the Desert Dogs as the Sharks return to play here tonight. But of course, if you want to be part of the show later on, chat with me and the fellow Sharks fans on the page or the app. Of course, follow us on the social. We'll be gifting the game on our Twitter feed. We'll get some exciting pictures on our Instagram and such. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Of course, hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel, SoundCloud, Reddit, and of course, Discord after the game. Find everything at tealtownusa.com. It is great to be back and be talking hockey with you, everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm Eric Curra. You can follow me on Twitter and the Instagram at PuckGuy14 as we get ready for this game between the Sharks and the Desert Dogs. As I just spill on my Sharks jersey. That's always terrific. How did you... I didn't know you guys did pregame shows. Yeah, we usually don't. I'm just having fun with this tonight since there's no pregame. There's no Brody. Brody's trying to, get the night off. I get it. He's going to relax every once in a while. But first and foremost, we hope you had a great holiday season no matter what you celebrated, whether it was Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Boxing Day, or just use the excuse to just wear your holiday sweater so you can be sharp. Sharp as cheddar. All right. So let's get into it. Since the last time we were with you, the Sharks returned to the ice tonight for the first time in 2 weeks when they lost to the Vancouver Canucks. When the Sharks were playing, they had 1-3 on their current homestand, losing to Minnesota and Seattle, along with the aforementioned Canucks. But they sandwiched a victory over Dallas between those three losses. John, yes, of course, Festivus, of course. Yeah, I can't forget that one. Eric filling in for Brody. Yeah, well, Brody's not too far nearby. I can, maybe he'll call up and say hello or something, But hey, you know what? We appreciate each and every one of you. And before we go on, let's be honest here. We do this for you, So hit that subscribe button down below. If you really like this, we might do this every now and then when Brody isn't on and it's a streaming game. So hit that subscribe button. Of course, hit that notification bell to let you know when we go on the air. So we appreciate each and every one of you joining us here this evening before Sharks and Desert Dogs. Oh, excuse me. We got your beverages ready to go. Yes, it's a national televised game, but we will make sure you get your Desert Dog count in. So let's keep moving on here. Sharks 1-3 on the homestand. They had their lone victory against the Dallas Stars, but then COVID really struck the NHL. At one time, 24 of the NHL's 32 teams had at least one player or one coach under COVID protocol. Thus, the extended and early holiday break for many of these teams. More games postponed and led to the eventual announcement that the NHL and the NHLPA would not go to Beijing for the Olympics. The league will use those 3 weeks aside that were set for an Olympic break to make up the 50-plus games postponed. I'm sure many of you have heard today that a lot of the games up in Canada are at 50% capacity. So they're going to kind of move those games, sprinkle them into like more February to see if they can, if the league can, hopes for full capacity. And let's be honest, essentially full potential revenue can be achieved later. After all, they're hoping that the Sharks, along with the Canadian teams, will all be full capacity and get that cap number up, so we can make sure we sign Tomas Hertl. I don't know. We'll see how that happens down the road. We'll get to Tomas in just a second here, of course. But as for San Jose, if you didn't hear, there were 3 games postponed for the Sharks. December 21st against Vancouver, December 23rd, right before Christmas, was supposed to be against the Edmonton Oilers. Of course, that was when they were having an issue with the cross-border travel. They didn't want anybody to get stuck on the other side of the country, on the other side of the continent. And of course, last night's game in Anaheim was also postponed. So, fingers crossed, maybe you can sneak in a trip to Disneyland and see the Sharks at the same time. So, but that aside, let's get to tonight's game. Of course, we still got to deal with some COVID issues here. Currently, San Jose has Jonathan Dahlen and Aiden Hill under COVID protocol. Because Aiden Hill's out, the Sharks brought up Zach Sawchenko up from the Barracuda. The Barracuda also had their game postponed last night with 6 players plus, I believe, their assistant coach Michael Chason out. So, it's a big one, big loss. You definitely are going to see a lot more of James Reimer, that's for sure. Yesterday, Brent Burns cleared protocol, and as of a couple hours ago, around 5 p.m., Tomas Hertl cleared protocol. It was reported that the players had to wait in their cars at Sharks Ice for the results to come through, which I can. You have to make sacrifices somehow. That one's not too bad, let's be honest. With Hertl clearing protocol, it's likely to assume that Hertl will center the second line with Gregor and maybe Nieto. Perhaps Bob Bugner goes with a little more offense with Jaden Helmgewachs in the second line. Scrabble, as we like to call him around here. Thank you, Kevin Lacey, for that, by the way. Showed some early jump in his debut against Vancouver. The question now becomes, does Benito center the third line? And if so, what does it entail for Lane Peterson, who was originally lauded to be third line center, with Nick Merkley gaining the call up from the CUDA, who was supposed to be going in as fourth line center? Honestly, some fans, myself included, and some pundits, say you keep Nick Merkley in and rest Peterson. Also, what does that do for Jeffrey Viel, who also got called up from the CUDA and is slated to make the season debut for the Sharks? We will see. We're keeping an eye on tweets from Shalana Goldman, among others. And in fact, here we go. We just got that in. Shalana, thank you. The lineup is this. Your first line, not to read off the phone, but forgive me here. Barabanov, Couture, Meyer will center the first line. Hertl will center Nieto and Gregor. Benino will be in the third line with Cogliano and Helmgewachs. And then Lane Peterson will be in the fourth line with Gadjevich and Jeffrey Viel. So that's going to be an interesting line to watch down the road for the fourth line. We heard some rumblings that Bugner might have Ferraro Middleton switch pairings with Burns and Carlson respectively. We'll see how that goes during the game. We'll see how that happens. Vlasic and Simic. I used with Vlasic, go figure. Vlasic and Simic, Reddit's favorite hockey player, will be the third lineup. Reimer will get the start, and of course Milosh, Balsers, and Merkley are the scratches, which is a bummer for Nick Merkley. I mean, he seemed to have that nice jump when he filled in on those 6-7 games when he was a member of the is what I like to call the Sharkacuda. So we'll see. Kind of getting piggyback to some of the comments in here. Will the postponed games be played later? Is there any time in the schedule to make up those games? Yeah, the Olympic break in February will likely be taking that spot. I wouldn't be surprised if they move things around to accommodate some of the games being played, especially those up in Canada. So appreciate all that going on, and appreciate each of you joining us here on the show this evening. Quick reminder, this is a one-off. We're getting you back into things with Sharks hockey, getting you ready for that. Of course, join us for Teal Town After Dark following the game, where we'll break down the game and talk about a lot more, including the craziness that happened today at the World Juniors and Team USA. We'll get to that a little bit. And Peterson not getting too much love right now, but, why is Peterson playing over Merkley? Who knows? Maybe there is that tie with him and Bob Bugner. Maybe trying to showcase him. Who knows? Zach Croft, Zach, good to see you. Of course, remember, stay out of the penalty box. That's the most important part. And sticks on the ice. Less passing, more shooting. Good to see you, bud. Peterson has done nothing. You're not far-fetched off there, my friend. I mean, granted, he was injured for a little bit there, so hopefully this is to prove it game. So moving onward. As a team, San Jose has 2 more games left on this homestand tonight and Thursday night against Philadelphia. During that time, they got some home cooking. The Sharks have just scored only 7 goals in the first 4 games of this homestand while allowing 15. Now, granted, Hill got a chunk of those games because Reimer was out for a little bit. So it's crazy to see what happens there. They are 5-5 in their last 10. They certainly sit at 31 points. They're 5 behind Edmonton, who is surprisingly holding down the last wild card spot in the West. Of course, there are some of those who are on Team Tank. San Jose's 31 points is 17 points ahead of the Desert Dogs. Excuse me one more time. Arizona went 5-2-1 last season against San Jose in that shortened 2021 season. And if you remember those games, those 8 games, Phil Kessel was being a Shark killer. The hot dog loving Desert Dog had 10 goals against Team Teal last season, and Phil Kessel is chomping at the bit to get some more. Well, we won't mention 2016 for that matter either. But not just Phil Kessel. It's not just Phil Kessel. Travis Boyd for the Coyotes had his first career 3-point game in their Desert Dogs last game against Anaheim on the December 17th. Oh, that's some good stuff there. Nick Schmaltz comes in tonight's game with a 3-game point streak with a goal and 4 assists in that run. As for the goaltending matchup, Scott Wedgwood will get the start for the Desert Dogs, bringing a 4-7-1 record. I should really hang on to this because I did do a lot of this on here. He has a 4-7-1 record with a 309 goals against and a 907 save percentage. For San Jose, with Aiden Hill on COVID protocol, it's safe to assume that James Reimer will carry the workload for a bit. Heck, Bob Bugner even said that he will be for the time being at his morning skate press conference this morning. This will be Reimer's 16th start of the season with a 9-5-1 record, a nice 1.99 goals against, and an impressive 936 save percentage. I've said it before many times on After Dark, and I'll say it again. If Steve Dangle's favorite goaltender keeps going, why not?
Why not?
Go to Vegas to be part of the All-Star festivities and playing for the Pacific Division. So, Taco Cruiser with a $2 super chat donation. Is 2022 draft looking strong? Should we tank? Ian Reed, our good friend Ian Reed, who is in the beautiful Ontario, Canada, we'll just call it. I don't need to mention where he's at right now. No creepers allowed here, folks. Said that this is a decent draft. I would say it's definitely a little bit of boost. Of course, a lot of those kids that are going to be available for drafting are playing right now in the World Juniors. I know Canada is just walloping everybody right now as we speak. And like I said, we'll talk about more what happened with the U.S. team on After Dark later tonight. Should we tank? This team, I think, was going to be middle of the road. I think we all knew that. We all knew that there was going to be some improvement. I don't think we were going to be gangbusters like how they were at the beginning of the season when they started 4-0. But I think they're going to be middle of the road. I don't think they're going to be tanking. I don't think they're going to be going lights out. So, should we tank? Yeah, we probably could. But do we want to? No. I think the bottom line that the Sharks and how the plays out in the Bay Area, you need butts in the seats. You need butts in the seats, and let's be honest here, it's been a little rough for the first time in forever in San Jose. So I really concerned, uh, with that. Stephen Tully mentioning in the chat, Peterson scored 60 goals and assists in the AHL. Maybe it's not translating because he's playing with bad fourth liners. That's true. He's also had a chance up in the third line, and we haven't seen it yet. And the same thing could be said for Jonah Gadjevich. He had a heck of a season last year, scoring goals for the Utica Comets. The former AHL affiliate for the Canucks. Hasn't shown it yet. I mean, he's shown other things, but Peterson has been fighting the puck a lot, and especially when I went to the game against the Kraken, didn't exactly look comfortable playing the puck, and I'm wondering if he's still hurt from his injury. So we'll see what happens there on that. And you know what? That's the beauty of it. Let's hope he can knock it out tonight. Reminder, this game is on ESPN Plus. So if you don't have ESPN Plus, make sure you get it. If I'm not mistaken, and I'm kind of guessing right here, telling me if I'm wrong, but I believe this will be the first time a female broadcaster will call play-by-play for the Sharks game. Yes, Kendall Coyne Schofield did some color analyst work for the Sharks a couple of seasons ago, and wishing her all the best as she makes her way to Beijing for the Olympics coming up in February. But Leah Hextall, yes, if that last name sounds familiar to you, that is Ron Hextall's. She is related to him. I believe that's her brother, if I'm not mistaken. Again, tell me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty cool. Leah Hextall will be calling the game with former Shark Dominic Moore. So we'll see how that happens, and wish them all the best here. They better say Desert Dogs tonight. Let's be honest here. Come on. So cheers. Cheers to Leah Hextall calling the game tonight. Play-by-play on ESPN Plus there. Now, let's be honest here, guys and gals and everybody else. Honestly, this is a game the Sharks need to get 2 points from. They are the better team. Hopefully, the bruises, among other things, in the last 12 days will help them heal and get that W tonight against Arizona. So, just a quick reminder before we head out of here. If you can take a second, if you like this content, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe, hit that subscribe button. Of course, like I said, hit that notification bell that will notify you that we are when we get on the air here. And so we appreciate each and every one of you joining us here on the broadcast tonight as we get ready for Sharks and Coyotes. That'll be coming up in just about 10 minutes time. We'll get you over there in just a second. But as we head out, it's been an interesting few days. Everything going on with COVID. And again, we hope you had a wonderful holiday. I saw some of the earlier chats for the birthday wishes. Appreciate each and every one of you for giving the love to me on my birthday. If you haven't seen it on social media, was able to get out and put on the pads for a little bit for a good hockey run there. So we got that going on there, but also we need to send our condolences to a couple of gentlemen who have recently passed that enriched the Bay Area sports world. Of course, we found out around 4:30 local time that a local man, former Raider head coach, and one of the let's be honest, one of the greatest sports analysts ever, and John Madden passed away. There wasn't a major link to the Sharks here, but he was a sports giant. I think and especially being here in the Bay Area, he passed away this morning at the age of 85. Yesterday, the Sharks put out a tweet announcing the passing of former head coach Jim Wiley. He was the third head coach in Sharks franchise history, taking over for Kevin Constantine in the middle of the 1995-96 season. Got 17 wins in his 1737 losses and 4 ties, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. He was mainly the assistant coach under Kevin Constantine for the Kansas City Blades, the Sharks' top minor league affiliate at the time. He actually led the Sharks minor league affiliate to Turner Cup final in 1995. After his stint as the head coaching job with the Sharks, Wiley went back down and coached the AHL Sharks affiliate in Kentucky for the first few seasons that franchise existed. Wiley was around since the inception of the franchise. Like we said, he was an assistant coach under Constantine when the Kansas City Blades won their first IHL title, and went on to coach a number of places until 2008. So we send our condolences to the Wiley family and his friends at this trying time. Wiley was 71 years old. And with that, we'll wrap things up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. We will be back with you right here on this YouTube channel for Teal Town After Dark, following Sharks and Coyotes, which will be roughly about 10 o'clock on here. Hopefully I'll be joined by someone. If not, you'll get me, and we'll hopefully help you recap the night that was in Sharks hockey, along with everything that's going on around the hockey world. So, for me, along with everybody here at Teal Town USA, I am Eric Hura. We thank you very much for joining us. The Sharks game will be on ESPN Plus or other places, if you know what I'm talking about. So we will leave you with that for now. And until later tonight with Sharks and Coyotes, recapping that on Teal Town After Dark, I am Eric Hura. You can follow me at Puckeye14 on the Twitter and the Instagram. And in case you missed anything or you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher. Of course, hitting that YouTube subscribe button does do a lot. So for that, thank you for watching. We'll see you after the game. And until then, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Head on over to ESPN Plus right now for Sharks and Coyotes, and then jump back over here on the YouTube channel for Teal Town After Dark. And until then, have a great night. Go Sharks!